and this is your daily dose of TOK. So in this lesson we started off looking at knowledge statements. So hopefully you were able to do this flipped learning activity where we thought about knowledge questions. And knowledge questions can be a bit difficult to understand, but they are questions about the knowledge. They are contestable in that there are a number of plausible answers to them. There are those shades of grey. So we considered some specific questions which were not knowledge questions. We looked at a newspaper article predicting the future population growth in Central Africa. Demographic transition model is behind this article, and we see a lot of very negative articles about population explosion, interestingly focusing on the continent of Africa. As a knowledge question, why on earth then, when we quickly find out that these models actually are wrong, what is the point of using these models? So the demographic transition model is wrong in many respects. However, the argument presented here is even though the model is wrong, we would expect it to be wrong, particularly because it's in the human sciences, but it provides a general framework for understanding, and then we can build our understanding and try to identify and understand those nuances that cause the model to break down when applied to the real world. We went on to think about a journal article detailing the outcomes of a medical trial and dismissing that new medical trial. The knowledge question here is, though, what are the ethical constraints? What ethical constraints should there be in the pursuit of knowledge? I'll repeat that again because that's important. The knowledge question here is, what ethical constraints should there be in the pursuit of knowledge? So these ethical frameworks, they are the way that we generate knowledge. So whenever doing any sort of research, we need to think about vulnerable populations. We need to think about the placebo effect. And does doing the research present any risk to the participants? So that's beyond drug trials. That will be any sort of research that involves human beings. We then went on to think about specific question number 3, which is artificial intelligence and driverless cars. Should a car protect the life of the driver or the pedestrian? We thought of it in terms of the Will Smith movie here. A knowledge question is distinguishing ethical judgments from other types of judgment, and we looked at the good place and we thought about the trolley problem. So we went on to dig a little bit deeper into exactly what a knowledge question is, and there's a great video here. Just some text there for you to read. They're open-ended, they're conceptual, they're about concept, they're not about fact. They're interdisciplinary, they could be applied to several different subjects and several different subject areas, and they are thought-provoking. Some examples of knowledge questions in TOK: to what extent is our knowledge of the world shaped by the language we use? How do we decide what counts as good or true knowledge? We then moved on to the concept of meaningful doubt. So there is a difference between meaningful and superficial doubt. And we looked again several things. I think we presented 3 models there about the difference between meaningful doubt and superficial doubt. So superficial doubt, climate change denial, great video here from a senator. Another superficial doubt will be simply dismissing historical information or interpretations just because you disagree with it. Another superficial doubt would be dismissing various art forms simply because they are not to your taste. Meaningful doubt, there we talked about the Tuskegee syphilis case study of experimentation that emphasised the importance of good ethics. Meaningful doubt number 2, the classic debate over the existence of God, not immediately dismissing the possibility that God does exist. Even people like very strict atheists actually have to say they cannot be 100% sure God does not exist. There's always this reasonable doubt or amount of doubt there that God does exist, as tiny as it might be. And then the reliability of eyewitnesses. This is an important one because a lot of our legal system is based around eyewitness accounts and testimony, but they, as we will see in the lesson, are really not that reliable. But if we don't have eyewitness testimonies, what else do we have in our legal system? We then went on to look at some movies. There are 3 movies here. I hope that you had a chance to quickly consider the trailer, and they deal with the concept of meaningful doubt, or do they deal with the concept of meaningful doubt? Inception, it's the idea that are we living in a dream? If you dream that you're having a dream while you're dreaming, and then you wake up from that dream, how can you be sure if you are in a dream? We looked at Solaris as another example, and a very old film which looks at historical accounts of Japan.